The second chapter begins on the school rooftop. AG is standing there, his expression empty and defeated. The girl looks directly at him and asks who he is. AG introduces himself, saying he is Aono AG, a second-year student. He makes up an excuse, explaining that he was skipping class and wandering around the school. He says he ended up there by chance. He thinks to himself that he can't tell the truth, that he came there to jump off the roof. She recognizes him and calls him Aono Senpai. Eiji realizes who the girl is. Her name is Ichijo. He remembers that she's the prodigy student who ranked first in last year's entrance exams. With her gentle personality and charming beauty, she quickly became the school's celebrity right after enrolling. He heard that several boys from different classes have already confessed to Ichijo. Ichijo seems irritated by Eiji's presence, wondering why he had to show up now of all times. Eiji tries to explain that he just wants a place to hide until lunch break is over. He mentions the awful rumors about him and politely asks her to let him stay alone. Her response is a firm no. She angrily declares that the place is hers and that she won't give it up. Eiji asks if she's sure, reminding her of the rumors about him. Ichijo confirms that yes, she's aware of them. Even so, with an angry expression, she insists that her answer is still no. Eiji is completely shocked by her attitude. She sighs, looking irritated, and says that, as she already mentioned, she knows about the rumors. They're just that, rumors, and that she hasn't seen any of those things with her own eyes. She continues, remarking that in the end, love is almost like a disease. She asks why people believe a one-sided story told by only one person. She says that nowadays people believe only what they want when they want. She finishes by stating that it's disgusting to point fingers at someone without knowing whether it's true or not. Eiji looks down with a glimmer of hope. He hesitantly asks her if that means she believes him. Ichijo replies firmly. She says it's not a matter of believing or not. With her arms crossed, she declares with conviction that judging him based on one-sided biased gossip is just too wrong. Her words hit Eiji hard. His eyes widen in pure shock and surprise. With tears in his eyes and a look of pure relief, Eiji simply says, "Thank you." Completely taken aback, Ichijo's eyes widen. With an irritated look, she asks Eiji why he's thanking her, especially her. He laughs a little and tells Ichijo that if she doesn't understand, that's fine. The scene shows the two of them alone on the school rooftop. Suddenly, heavy rain starts pouring down on them. Eiji suggests they go inside so they don't catch a cold. Ichijo, however, sharply tells him to leave her alone. With her face wet, she looks even more irritated. She yells at Eiji, furious. She asks if he still doesn't get it. With a frustrated expression, she shouts, wanting to know why she's there alone. Eiji, completely confused by her behavior, asks what the reason is. Ichijo tells him that he doesn't need to worry. She goes on to say that it doesn't matter if she catches a cold from the rain. With a desolate voice, she explains the reason. She says that for her, tomorrow simply doesn't exist. He is left completely paralyzed. Eiji, panicking, follows him, asking her to wait. With her face soaked and full of anguish, Ichijo turns to him. She screams at him to leave her alone. She angrily asks which part of her wanting to die he doesn't understand. In a desperate move, Eiji rushes forward and grabs her wrist tightly. He yells at the top of his lungs for her to stop. As the rain pours down, Ichijo struggles to break free, her face filled with panic. With a determined expression, Eiji shouts, "That's enough." Suddenly, Ichijo slips on the wet floor, losing her balance. She screams in surprise as she begins to fall. In a quick movement, Eiji lunges forward and catches her, but the two crash hard against the fence at the edge of the rooftop. Angrily, Ichijo demands to know why he protected her. She starts to say that if the railing had been rusty, but he cuts her off, telling her to shut up. Eiji bursts out with an emotional response. He says he doesn't think there's any reason not to help someone. Eiji then yells a surprising proposal at her. He says that if she wants to die so badly, then at least she should spend this last day with him. He continues, shouting that they should skip class together. Ichijo reacts in total shock. Ichijo yells at Eiji, irritated by his suggestion to skip class. She asks him if he even understands the gravity of the situation. After venting her frustration, Ichijo seems to resign herself to the situation. She says she guesses she doesn't have much choice. Then, sitting on the rain-soaked ground, Eiji makes a shocking confession. He reveals that he also came there thinking about dying. He adds that, however, he never imagined he'd end up stopping a kohai from taking her own life. His words leave Ichijo completely stunned. Eiji stays sitting on the ground, simply watching her. With tears streaming down her face, but wearing a faint smile, she agrees with him. She says, "Yeah, that's just how it is." The scene shows Eiji and Ichijo sitting together on the rooftop, side by side. The rain continues to fall, but a moment of calm and understanding passes between them. Later, they decide to leave the rooftop. Eiji suggests that, for now, they should go inside. Ichijo agrees with him. Eiji offers a handkerchief to Ichijo, telling her to use it. Ichijo hesitates, but Eiji insists she take it. With a slightly embarrassed expression, she accepts it and thanks him. While she dries herself, Ichijo blushes and asks him not to stare at her like that. Eiji quickly looks away, apologizing. Then he glances back at her. She seems a bit shy as she uses the handkerchief to dry herself. Ichijo teases him, saying that he's looking at her inappropriately right after she told him not to, calling it harassment. Eiji gets flustered and apologizes. Then, with a calmer tone, Ichijo asks what they're going to do now. She turns to him with a subtle smile. In a teasing tone, she says that since he invited her to skip class, he must have some kind of plan. With a smile, Eiji admits he doesn't have any plan. He explains that he just said it out of desperation. Eiji thinks to himself, so this is what her smile looks like. He mentions that, from what I heard from some classmates who confessed to her, Ichijo shows her disdain for those confessions. She asks, why do people think I would go out with such weird guys? She goes on, saying that being approached out of nowhere by some guy she just met is creepy. She sighs, looking disappointed. With a serious expression, she confronts Eiji directly. She accuses him, asking if he's only interested in her looks or her status. Eiji remembers the rumors he heard. He thinks that this is what people said about her, that she trampled on the feelings of the boys who confessed. He's surprised, since he thought she would reject his idea of skipping class. Later, the two are sitting together. Ichijo moves closer and offers him a small pouch. She says it's a reward for what he did. Eiji and Ichijo sit together on the rooftop. He starts to thank her, but his stomach growls loudly, cutting him off. Completely embarrassed, Eiji starts rummaging through his bag. He feels relieved when he finds an onigiri, a rice ball. In a friendly gesture, he asks Ichijo if she wants half. Ichijo happily agrees. She takes a small bite of the onigiri and says it's delicious. Ichijo asks if the onigiri is tuna with mayonnaise. Eiji confirms enthusiastically, explaining that it's a convenience store onigiri classic. He's surprised she's never tried it before, and asks him seriously, "Is that true?"
With a look of wonder, Ichijo asks if everyone really eats these tasty things. Eiji smiles broadly at her. With a happy expression, he confirms that yes, and adds that there's so much more out there. He says that dying without knowing such treasures would be a real shame. Ichijo looks thoughtful, with a soft expression and a slight blush on her face. With newfound energy, she declares that it really is delicious. She clenches her fist with determination, saying that now she's curious. With a smile, Eiji makes her a surprising invitation. He asks her if she wants to go to his house. Completely flustered and shocked, Ichijo can barely react. The scene shows the two of them leaving the rooftop and walking down the hallway. Ichijo asks him how they're going to get out of the school. She points out that the main entrance is locked. Eiji asks if she's planning to jump the gate. Ichijo reacts indignantly, pointing out that she's wearing a skirt. With a grin, Eiji says he was joking and that he knows that. Ichijo makes a sound of disdain, clearly not too amused by the joke. AG then explains that there's an iron door next to the main entrance. Using a simple diagram, he lays out his plan. The door can be unlocked from the inside and closes automatically. That means while you can't enter from outside, it's easy to leave from within. Ichijo, with a suspicious look, asks how he knows about the door. AG teases her, saying that a model student wouldn't know such things. He adds that skipping class every now and then doesn't kill anyone. With a determined expression, AG says it's fine and that they should go for it. He takes Ichijo's hand and starts walking. AG looks visibly embarrassed as he holds Ichijo's hand. Ichijo asks him why he's blushing so much and tells him to just hurry up. He asks if she's sure about this, holding hands with the guy she just met. She admits that saying she's comfortable would be a lie, but she adds that if it were in a play or a movie, it would be totally normal. With her face blushing, Ichijo makes a surprising confession. She tells AG that, by the way, it's the first time she's ever held a boy's hand, and tells him to appreciate that. Completely flustered by her confession, AG can't barely keep it together. With new determination, she pulls him by the hand and says, "Let's do this." AG thinks to himself that now he's really going to turn into a tomato. As they run away from the school hand in hand, a voice calls out in the distance. The voice asks, "What the two of you are doing?" But they keep running, never looking back. It's as if they're leaving the past behind and looking toward the future.